This is Margaret in Windsor, and I'm having trouble getting that last tape up. What I put on the other one didn't go up, and I was showing my father's picture again, and the things, photos and information that I've shown in a lot of other previous videos, and the one that I just did get up. I did get one up this morning. So I had my father's picture, the real King Edward VIII, and I had the imposter that married Wallace Simpson, his photo there and hers. And I had my Uncle George, who became the illegal George the Sixth. Had his picture in 1939, the year I was born, with Roosevelt planning my kidnapping. Roosevelt and his family, and the illegal Queen Mom. She's not. The real queen is my father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, American Irish, and had been Catholic. And the New World Order orchestrated the whole thing to take down on my father, and they got my Uncle George to, in essence, be a part of them. Elizabeth is a member of the New World Order now. It's the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, if you want to call them Illuminati, the Freemasons, that's who it is. They also orchestrated the murder of Tsar Nicholas, which you come over here to the United States because Woodrow Wilson, etc., probably all of the presidents. I don't know about Jimmy Carter, but the rest of them were all Freemasons and Illuminati, a part of it. So anyway, they brought me over to Moulton, Alabama, and gave me another name of a twin, Peggy Dempsey Childers. Both twins, Carl and Peggy, were murdered by their mother, and she would have faced the gas chamber. So they covered it up, the family did. I found out about my real name and kidnapping late 83. Now then, I had written a book on mind control, and I had known about murders happening in patterns a long time ago, before 70 even, but I didn't know the mechanism used. And I worked for doctors, and I worked for the district attorney later in 80 after I'd been filled full of antifreeze and should have died, gone to coma and died. And I'd received a letter from the FBI June the 23rd of 79. Now, I was doing the book in, well, 76, 77, 78, 79, actually, trying to get it completed and sold. And I thought all the things that were happening to me that were illegal. I was going to the local Cobb County. I was going to the state. I went to the FBI office and got the letter from them. And the return on that was William Harper, the U.S. Attorney in Atlanta, sent a letter stating it was an ongoing investigation, national security involved. Now then, I went to Mrs. King after then. After I was filled with antifreeze on April the 1st of 80. That's a joke, right? And was illegally, what went on there the next week and a half, I went for a tox screen because I knew something was wrong. Well, I went to West Paces Ferry emergency room, and a doctor was there that wasn't supposed to eat. They tell me later, West Paces Ferry, after I made it and didn't die, that he wasn't on their staff, so they didn't owe me anything. And this whole thing, nobody owes me or the British anything. So they say. So I can't get into the daily how people, I've had my jobs gotten to after I worked for the district attorney, did the book, and managed to live with a brain that was damaged and pretend that nothing had happened to me. I was told not to talk about it. Then I was put on the road again with nothing, I mean on the side of the road. I ended up going back to Atlanta, and it was 82, the winter. I was freezing. I had no money, nowhere to go. I walked to I think it's Presbyterian church, and to get in at 6 o'clock and lay on the floor, and well, I won't go into what happened there, but anyway, get up in the morning and you're out with no place to go, and I was freezing. I even had those, so anyway, I didn't have shoes. Let's put it that way, I was freezing. So I went down to Mrs. King's because I didn't know about my real name. And I didn't know I'm Victoria II, the legal heir, and who my dad is, and Mom. Didn't know about South Africa and all this. The real thing is they began taking, the United States I'm talking about, with the help of the NAACP and the blacks, who knew about me, my real name, and about the antifreeze and all of it. So when I went there, because I knew that mind control had been used in the JFK and in the Martin Luther King and some George Wallace, Governor George Wallace, who I admired, because he couldn't be bought. That's one of the reasons they had him killed. Had he gotten in, he couldn't be bought. You couldn't have taken him down with becoming part of the New World Order. I don't think so anyway. But Lina Dempsey, the mother of the twins, the woman that tortured me all my life, and I had to call mother, was actually with George Wallace. And he was not a fan of hers, but he couldn't stop her, or didn't, from volunteer on his presidential team. They were in Laurel, Maryland, and Lina Dempsey was with him right near him when he was shot. And the man that shot him was programmed to shoot him. I will say, I'm talking about patterns. Laurel Wood Apartments, you're getting into the Laurel, is where I got the FBI letter, June 23rd of 79, and April Fool Day of 80, I was still full of antifreeze. So you get into patterns and things. The Rockefellers on the press, so they're not going to tell the truth about me. You know, you would think there's a lot of options been open to people that have known about me. A lot of people knew it before I did. They could march, like the blacks did with Trayvon Martin. Nothing against Trayvon, and nothing against Zimmerman, because that was a mind control too, and yes, it can be proven, the patterns. But look how quick they got the president's attention. So you're telling me, rather than try to stop the stuff, people have blamed it on me. They don't care that I was kidnapped, that my civil liberties, that I've been tortured all my life. They've actually participated in it. The agency doing it that I got the letter from actually get the police, because they'll put the police under investigation, and they will get something on them. If they don't help, that's not a reason to help. The FBI may, in a weird sort of way, have saved my life over the years. The local and state law enforcement would not have. They do what the FBI tell them to do. Now, the FBI get things on their kids, and I'm talking about the murders, like the Murphy, Alexis Murphy, the Morgan Harrington. There's a whole list of them besides the Virginia Tech and all that. And then the Columbine, and you can go on way back before I did the book. I knew about murders happening. There's been movie stars taken out, and there's been a whole bunch of British just killed with it, too. So I guess here I'm going to go back, and I didn't mean to make a production out of this, but I wanted to know what's considered real, civil rights, because Mrs. King wouldn't talk to me. She sent someone out, and he made the statement, and I didn't know my real name or anything then, and he said that, well, his friend was a doctor in South Africa. I believe he said Rhodesia, and that he had gone and had a root canal done. And the root canal back then was part of how they did mind control, put chips in you. And he'd come home and he took a flying leap into the wall. And that's how powerful and the synchronicity is to it. But the thing I want to say is Martin Luther King, the NAACP, Mrs. King, the Civil Liberties Union, the law enforcement. I'm a hostage here, just like they made Great Britain. I'm